Hi, everybody, and welcome to the series number 3 of Traumaplicity podcast with your host, Dr. Amanda Helman here. And I am talking all about beliefs. We are finishing up my part of the series, which is talking about I am statements. And now we're heading into, after this week, the guests, my incredible guests that have been on my show. We have 10 of my clients or more, because I have a group one. And we are going to be sharing all about how they have shifted, the great things that have happened to them, and the beliefs that have changed and how they use tools to adapt. And so today I want to talk about another belief. Now there's many, there's over 20 beliefs that I share in my book about beliefs. So stay tuned. And there's 20 different ones broken up into what is your belief, what is the lie, generationally, how have we started to agree with our family beliefs, how do you change it? I give you my cognitive, it's a little tool, I have many, but I give you a cognitive processing sheet to help you start that. If you know that you're going to need more than that, 100% of y'all will, you can come join me for coaching and you'll see the amazingness of what it is to help shift your brain completely. And today we're going to talk about the belief. We talked about not feeling worthy. We've talked about having to get it right. We've talked about not feeling loved. And we've talked about many of them, but I'm going to talk about one that's not on there once again. And this is feeling inferior. And this can happen when you feel inferior. This is the new one that came up. So this is a bonus. It's not in my book. But when you feel inferior, you feel like someone else that may have been in your life thought that they were superior over you. They told you that they were superior in their actions and words, and you felt inferior. You felt that you were not, you felt underlyingly the belief of not good enough, but different, where you felt like, yeah, I'm inferior. I'm not as good as them. I can't be equal to them. And that might be your perception or the truth or what's happening, not the truth, but what you perceive as the truth from what other people are saying or they're sharing. And so that has been an incredible revelation that I want you to think about it. Do you feel inferior to other people or do you look at them as equals? And when we don't have self-esteem and when we feel the negative words against us, we can try to compensate by thinking other people are less than or we're greater than or vice versa. None are healthy. The healthy version is I'm as equally important and significant and amazing as everybody else in the world. Everybody's equally. And our choices may vary, right? Some people make not so good choices in terms of harming themselves or others. And we've all been there, we're human. But it comes to a point where some of the stuff they're doing can really harm family or other things, and it may warrant additional stuff, right? But that's because they're operating in a belief. We're always doing a belief whenever we do. So if we're thinking I can only get ahead if I do XYZ that's negative, that's what we're going to operate in. So I want you to think about that. That's important. So I'm here to talk about the inferiority. And inferior can actually be a generational belief where we have felt inferior. It could be oppression, slavery of all kinds, racial slavery, unfortunately. It can be where there was different people in our family in the function where people said they were greater, they were more superior over us. They didn't let us speak. It can be within the family, within friendship dynamics, school settings, work settings, and depending how we feel about ourselves, if we don't know our value, we can allow other people to do that without saying anything and allowing that to happen. But the positive is you don't have to keep doing that. You can actually shift that. So if we had an example, it might be that somebody's like always like, you know what, I'm not good enough, so I'm going to take the back row, or I'm not good enough, so I'm going to sit, where no one else is, or I'm not good enough, so I'm going to let them always do it. I can't. And even when people tell you, yeah, you can't do that, you're not good at it, you're going to agree with it. No, don't do that. It's good to know your strengths or your areas of growth, but you should be able to grow. And if people are not letting you grow, including yourself, it's time to take a thought and take a step back and saying, what's going on? So I just wanted to come on here. It's all about flipping your thoughts. So what are you thinking about yourself? How do you feel like you're inferior and not equal to other people? Or maybe you're trying to compensate and being superior because you feel inferior in a lot of ways. How can you shift that and realize that you're not inferior? You have incredible gifts, talents, skills. You are needed, your voice, your message, who you are. And so what makes you feel inferior? Maybe it's bullying that happened when you're a kid. Maybe it was something that happened recently, or still dynamics where your voice is still not completely ready and known. So I want you to think about that because it is possible to shift your thinking. I just worked with clients recently, a bunch of them, and inferior came up, and the ladies are like, oh my gosh, that's not true anymore. And we are able to rewire the brain, get out of that negative narrative, and now they're moving forward in such greater confidence because they know who they are. And I hope that speak that over you. And so what I do is I do a lot of cognitive release. I have a cognitive release map that I call it, and it's trademarked, it's my own. And I also have a map that I do walk people through to help them unlock and release all of their old thinking. And you actually not just do the core belief, but you actually go through every single belief related to that. And then we rewire it and using different techniques according to each individual. And I've seen 100% success. If you've had that stronghold for a long time, there might be other things going on with it, but once we reveal it, we can shift it and release it. And so if that's you, come join me. I have clarity calls, I do coaching, session packages, and would love to help you further. That is really it for our Traumaplicity podcast for today. Thinking about not feeling inferior. There are ways to flip that so you can get back into your mindset. And next time, the next 10 sessions, the next 2.5 months will be all of my different clients coming on and sharing how they flip their mindset and how they are thinking differently. And so you can tune in every Wednesday if you're on the Amanda Helman author and speaker Facebook page. I will be on my Traumaplicity YouTube show. We'll have our videos, and then I'll have my little audio clips on there. And then I'll also be on my different Spotify, Apple, all of that stuff for our audio podcast that you're listening to now as well. Make sure you know that and this is the big thing, is shifting your beliefs to know that you are loved, worthy, and valuable at all times, regardless of what other people tell you. It is true. And so catch me on here next time and know that there's so many incredible things coming ahead. The belief book, I have things on voice coming out. I have my complex trauma book, but there are amazing things coming to reveal the truth about who you are and whose you are. And I hope you have a great day. Take care, everybody.